Now, I'm not one of those people who advocates for studios to recast roles regularly, because it does tend to get a bit messy, but I do think there are certain situations where it is warranted. There are certain characters that hold a certain cultural significance to the point that it seems unfathomable that the studio who owns them wouldn't recast as a way of continuing that character's legacy. Now, I understand better than anyone that Marvel Studios isn't the type of studio to make logical and smart decisions creatively, especially not lately. But if the rumors are true, Marvel may have finally learned from their past mistakes, because it sounds like they are about to make a decision that will change the trajectory of one of their most popular franchises, and in that situation, I think everybody wins. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
If I can for a moment, I want to take you back to 2018, the year that the Black Panther solo film was finally released. And regardless of how anyone felt about the movie, you cannot deny the cultural impact that that film had, seeing how it resonated with audiences from all walks of life. It was one of those moments in entertainment where everything stopped and everything seemed to revolve around one character, around one movie. It was one of the last times that I can remember that a relatively new character to the MCU managed to capture the interest of general audiences. And the way they did it instantly made that character feel just as important as the big three at Marvel at the time. And the best part about it is that the whole moment felt organic. It didn't feel like it was being forced or disingenuinely used to support ulterior motives.
Message!
It was the perfect storm. You had the right director, the right actor, the right character coming together at the right moment to create something in the MCU that at the time felt fresh. As someone who has been burnt out on the MCU for a lot longer than some other people have, Black Panther was the first movie under that banner that I had seen in a while that I was able to find enjoyment in. So much so that I actually went back after watching that movie and started watching some of the Phase 1 MCU films that I enjoyed. Black Panther reminded me of a time when the MCU wasn't just about cameos and Easter eggs and all of that other bullshit. Black Panther felt like they were trying to tell a story, like they were trying to establish a character. And they did so for the most part by allowing this character to stand on his own 2 feet. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I am simply suggesting that Marvel allow this character to stand on his own 2 feet once again.
Goddamn right, that's the only way I work, Cap.
According to reports, Marvel Studios is rumored to be planning on recasting T'Challa for a new Avengers film and Black Panther 3. Now listen, I want to make this very clear before I continue. Chadwick Boseman owned this role in a way that does make it very difficult to see anyone else in that spot. And I understand that. To me, he was the biggest reason, along with Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger, why the first Black Panther movie worked. To me, Chadwick embodied the role in a way that put him in the conversation with Robert Downey Jr. as someone who was born to play this specific role. Unfortunately, his time playing that role was cut short due to his tragic passing. So in a lot of ways, I feel like we were just scratching the surface with T'Challa as a character. And I happen to be one of the people that did feel like it was the appropriate and necessary time to recast a very popular character. Because I do believe the character deserved it, and I do believe that it's what Chadwick would have wanted.
It's true.
And no, having Shuri take over for him, or his illegitimate son take over for him, is not the same thing. I'm not talking about a replacement to take up the mantle. I'm talking about letting T'Challa live on. I see a lot of people who are resistant to the idea because they feel like it's going to be disrespectful to Chadwick in some way. Or they simply believe that Shuri deserves her moment with the mantle. Well, I'm here to tell you, and I said this in my Wakanda Forever review, and I'll say it again here, but I strongly believe that absolutely no one wanted Shuri as Black Panther. And regardless of how much money this movie made, I think at some point Marvel Studios realized that they had made a mistake.
Were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Of all of the secondary characters in this franchise, she was the least worthy or believable in that role. I'll take it a step further and say how they handled the T'Challa situation in Wakanda Forever was infinitely more disrespectful than recasting the role could ever be. Having him die off screen, thanks to a mysterious illness, was not only the most underwhelming finale for the character imaginable, but to me it undermined everything that Chadwick had already established with the character prior to this. Now, I understand that Marvel and Ryan Coogler were in a difficult situation at the time, and they needed to make a difficult decision. But to me, they made the wrong decision, and Wakanda Forever, as well as Black Panther's legacy, suffered because of it. To me, Marvel disrespectfully sold this movie on the idea of how they would address Chadwick's passing on screen. And it's something to this day that still rubs me the wrong way when I think about it.
This is whack. I can't get jiggy with this shit.
And the worst part is they could have very easily avoided all of this by simply recasting the role. Now, you maybe could have given it some time and not rushed into it, so it stung a little bit less. And maybe you could have even found a clever way story-wise to acknowledge Chadwick and his contributions. But to me, the right move at the end of the day was to continue that legacy with another actor. To me, T'Challa should not have to take a back seat because Marvel saw the opportunity to increase the amount of female heroes on their roster. Don't get me wrong, Shuri has her place in these movies, but her place was not picking up the Black Panther mantle. To me, it sent the wrong message. To me, it made the character of T'Challa look expendable. And to me, he is anything but expendable based on how audiences responded to him.
That makes sense.
I think Marvel has an opportunity here to rectify one of their biggest mistakes and make a lot of people who enjoyed this character happy. Now, I understand that this will all depend on good creative, and let's face it, Marvel isn't exactly known for their creativity as it stands right now. So that is something that a potential recasting is going to have to overcome. Simply recasting the character isn't all that the character is going to need, but I do believe that it is a step in the right direction. Right now, Marvel could use some positive buzz, and I think recasting T'Challa would go a long way to restoring some people's faith in the brand. Let's put it this way, it's a hell of a lot better than pushing characters down our throat that nobody gives a shit about.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way.
We don't want Shuri Panther. We do not want Son of Black Panther. People want T'Challa in that role, and you have to do whatever you have to do story-wise to make it make sense. Whether that be ignore Wakanda Forever altogether, which I would be in favor of, or maybe you finally put that multiverse concept to good use that you are forcing upon us. The franchise needs its central character. You would not make Batman without Bruce Wayne. You would not make Superman without Clark Kent. At least I hope you wouldn't. So why would you make Black Panther without T'Challa?
Y'all be cool. Shut up.